You are listening to the Sports and Sorts podcast.
Pebbles drive deep to left field. Going back choice. Looking up. See ya. 3,000. History.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble! This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Looking, wrong in the end zone. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Little roller up along first. Behind the man. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Yes! Welcome back. This is Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bri Man. My name is Shane Moore, and you can find me on Twitter at Einhornisinkle.
And I'm the Bri Man. You can find me on Twitter at _bra_man.
And you can find the show on Twitter at Shane and Bri Man. You can find us at Facebook.com/Shane and the Bri Man. That's where you will find us live, like the show is right now. And other than that, you can find us at our website, www.sportsandsorts.libsyn. That's LIBSYN.com. So you can find us all those places. You can email us at shaneandthebryman@gmail.com. Plenty of ways to contact us. Plenty of ways to yell at us. Plenty of ways to send us rants that we can talk about on the show. Anything that you guys want to do, you know, just hit us up and we will put it on the show, if it's good. Anyway, we got a lot of things to talk about today. A lot of Yankees topics, as you can see if you're following this on Facebook Live, you can see how we are going to be talking about some Gary Sanchez news. Zach Britton gets to the Yankees. Todd Gurley has signed a big extension for the Rams. Kevin Love, a big extension for the Cavaliers. And WWE has a big announcement as well. So we're going to be talking about all those things today because, you know what, Bri Man? We got a great show. So let's go.
You are listening to Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bri Man.
All right, so first thing to talk about today is
The state of the Yankees.
So, a couple days ago, Gary Sanchez and our buddy Chris Corelli from SNY had posted on Twitter as well. He kind of made a comment about this. He didn't hustle out of the box. Actually, he didn't hustle twice during that game. He had a pass ball that he kind of, I'll call it lollygagged. He lollygagged.
That's a good one. I like that. You don't hear that very often. We're bringing it back.
He lollygagged to get the ball. And a player that went all the way to third base ended up just keep on going and ended up scoring because Sanchez lollygagged. And then he had another instance right after that, a few innings later, where he hit a bullet up the middle. But instead of hustling, because you know who was hustling, the guy who was plowing into second base, was that Hicks? Aaron Hicks?
I think it was Hicks, yeah.
Plowing into second base, slid, took out the second baseman, or actually the shortstop, took him out a little bit, and but heads up play, he ended up throwing to first and getting Sanchez out. Well, you realized after the fact, it's the reason why that he was able to get Sanchez is because Sanchez was lollygagging out of the box. About halfway down the line, he didn't start running hard until about halfway down the line. And then he ends up on the 10-day DL after that. And this is after a big backlash. I mean, Yankee fans were torching him. He is my favorite Yankee, as most people know. And I was really upset. I sent you a text right away. And you were like, it's not what you want. That's that,
Nope.
That old Joe Girardi little phrase that he used to utter all the time. So he didn't run out of the box. I was ticked. I was like, I just have no patience for that whatsoever. As someone who, when I played baseball, I always tried to work harder than everybody else just to give myself some sort of advantage. And he was literally, at best, jogging. at best jogging halfway down the line, and then realized, oh, Aaron Hicks ran like a beast down the line so that we could continue this inning and actually, possibly tie up the game eventually. But Gary Sanchez gets thrown out at first.
When so as I'm watching it, and as soon as, I guess it was the shortstop, grabbed the ball and went towards second, and then I see that Hicks is safe, I'm thinking to myself, yes, we got a tie game.
Yep.
We got a tie game. Sanchez is, probably already taking his batting gloves off. And
unless Aaron Judge tripped and fell halfway down the third base line.
And then you look there and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Why is he even making a throw to first? Why is he even bothering? Yeah. Sanchez is on first. And then you're watching Gary Sanchez come into frame as he's clearly not on first. And I felt like, when the Yankees, suffer a tough loss, you just get that heart sinking feeling. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I felt like the lump come up into my throat. Like, are you kidding? Like, how was he not? I mean, he could have been power walking to first and he should have made it. Like an old lady in a mall, hoofing it, and no, he's not on first. He's nowhere near first. He was out by a mile too. It's not like it was even a close bang play. He was out by probably 2 steps.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was livid.
Yeah. So you did basically exactly what I did. Is when when the play wasn't, when he's safe at second, my hands immediately went up in the air and I was like, yes, tie game. And then you throw it at first, and I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah, what?
How slow? I mean, I know Gary Sanchez isn't that slow. Like, he's not. I mean, he's an above average runner.
For his position, I would say so.
Yes.
And the other thing too is like. And you notice, though, when he realized, oh, crap, I actually need to leg this out. And when he was able to kind of turn it on, you're right, he's not horribly slow for his position. Mm-hmm. I mean, once he turned it on, if he had been running at that pace the whole time, he would have scored.
Yes.
I mean, he would have gotten to first. He would have been safe by a mile. He would have been safe by a mile.
By at least a full step.
So, you know what? Although I will say, that loss is not completely on Gary Sanchez. Sanchez gets a lot of it because he had 2 real lazy loafer kind of plays.
Well, that was 2 runs. He gave up 2 runs. His WAR was -2 that game.
To me, that one is also on Boone a little bit, this loss, because I am still struggling. And I didn't watch the post game because I was so disgusted I couldn't turn it on. But I still don't understand how, if you are Aaron Boone, you take the bat out of Giancarlo Stanton's hands by intentionally. I mean, you have Didi Gregorius bunt, okay, and that moves runners to second and third. You get the out. By the way, Didi Gregorius is not a guy who bunts a lot, and you could tell just in his form. It looked like he was somebody who was trying to bunt for the first time. Now, granted, he laid down an okay bunt, but the problem is, he lays down an okay bunt, except at that point. Then you're opening first base up, and Giancarlo Stanton is clearly going to be walked. So I don't understand that. How if you are Aaron Boone, do you take the bat out of the hands of the guy who is clearly your hottest hitter right now, who gets on, who just seems to hit the ball in this ballpark so well? Mm-hmm. He'd been 4 for 4 that night. He'd been crushing the ball all over the place, and you take the bat out of his hands? I don't get that. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss there.
Yeah, I mean, Stanton, he had like 7 hits in like 3 games against him. It was ridiculous.
By the way, Stanton, you know what? If you want to chalk Giancarlo Stanton under the we are who we thought they were category, this is who he is. Like, the guy that you're starting to see now is the guy that we expected. He's putting up the kind of, if you look at his numbers right now, you would have said, yeah, this is what I expected of Giancarlo Stanton. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's been a bit of a bumpy ride because he slumped kind of early in the season. But I'll tell you what, he's doing what we know he's capable of doing now. So I don't know. But the problem is, if he's going to be the only guy hitting and the rest of the team's not going to pick up the slack, they're not going to win games.
No, I mean, they did all right. I mean, they won yesterday. Masahiro Tanaka came, pitched a great game.
They should be beating up the Rays. I'm sorry. I mean, I know the Rays are actually not a bad team. They're actually above 500, but you got to beat up the Rays. And you have to.
It's always a team that gives us a hard time, though.
I know that, but you have to beat them when your ace is on the mound. And the other problem is now we've seen 2 not so good starts from Severino in a row. Do we have anything to worry about yet? I want to say no, but
yeah,
I think you need to monitor that. Maybe he needs a rest. I don't know. I mean, the guy he's been throwing a lot. He's got a lot of pitches under his belt this year. He's got a lot of innings. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they need to skip him a start. I mean, look what happened. You gave Tanaka a couple of days rest because of the rain out, and look what he gave you yesterday. Yeah. He gave you an ace-like performance.
Yeah, against I guess the not so great team, but it is a team that gives us a hard time.
But that's the one thing though that the Yankees can't do that the Red Sox do. The Red Sox beat up on opponents that they're supposed to beat up on. The Yankees did that yesterday. They beat an opponent that they were supposed to beat.
Something I will say is just, Damian Diden, this is something he says all the time, is you're not as good as your best hot streak and you're not as bad as your losing streak. So that's I don't know if that's the exact quote, but that is something.
We talked about that all year. Like we talked about at the beginning of the year too. It's the whole idea of the market correction, right? At some point you come back to earth. You surge, and then you come back to earth, and you surge, and you come back to earth, and it goes vice versa, But you can say whatever you want. The Red Sox are 39 games over 500. Mm-hmm. They're what they are doing is ridiculous. They just don't lose, and even when they do lose, like last night, they make it really close. They make you think we're going to come back and win.
Yeah, the
Red Sox just never seem to be out of a game. Their lineup is potent. Their starting pitching is above average. I think their one weakness is probably in the bullpen.
Yeah. To talk about Stanton, Jason Palermo, a friend of mine, DJ Melee.
That's a good DJ name.
Yeah. So he said, seems like most superstars who come to the Yankee Stadium tend to slump coming into the team and get hot come warm northeast weather. I would say that's pretty accurate. Tino Martinez, Dieter Gregorius, Jason Giambi. Gregorius isn't a superstar, but, Jason Giambi, Alex Rodriguez. You could go on and on and on and on about all these players. The only person that didn't really slump like that was David Justice. He came in and just, made the town his own.
He came in and, he did.
But that's rare. And usually there's a month-to-month long slump. But, even when Stanton was slumping, he still had 21 home runs by the All-Star break. So
Giancarlo Stanton is a thoroughbred, okay? The guy is going to give you the numbers that you expect from him.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't come as consistently throughout the season as you'd like, but they're going to come and they're going to, he's going to end up, Giancarlo Stanton's going to end up with his normal numbers.
Yeah.
He's going to hit 40 home runs. Uh-huh. He's going to drive in over 100. Yeah. That's going to happen.
All right. So, next one up here is he also had said, I'm going to add this to the broadcast as well. He said the Red Sox suck when they play crappy teams.
What?
That's what
Who said that?
Jason Palermo. He's a Red Sox fan.
I was going to say that can't be Damian because Damian knows better. Are you kidding? The Red Sox beat up on bad teams. Going into last night, mm-hmm. I believe the Yankees were 10-10 against the Rays and the Orioles, mm-hmm. and the Red Sox were 19-5. How can you say that?
I hate to tell you, they're Melee. I think that's a
true fact.
That's a true fact right there. # true facts. He also gave us big hands in the air for David Justice. Maybe he's a David Justice fan. Who
I love David. I have a David Justice autograph. I have a fun David Justice story. I'll tell you sometime.
Okay, I would love to hear that. All right, so
about me getting his autograph. It was fun.
Great. So let's go on to Zach Britton. Big deal. Another big arm in the bullpen. A stacked Yankees bullpen.
It's one of the best bullpens I think I've ever seen.
Zach Britton comes to the Yankees, and is there any other bullpen that has ever existed that is this deep?
Maybe last year's Yankee bullpen.
Yeah. But we still have that.
You had Tommy Kahnle, but Tommy Kahnle, as good as he is, can't even get out of the minors right now because, some of that also has to do with the fact that there's so many injuries to the Yankees team that they have to keep calling up position players, and there's really just no room for him in the pen.
Well, Glaber's coming back today, so.
Glaber's coming back today, too, thank God. Oh, my God. They moved him back in the worst way.
And they have not played well without him.
No, they have
not. That just goes to show how valuable he is.
They're a 500 team, essentially, I think, without him. Because he's been gone for about, 3 weeks? They're 500. I think they're one game over 500 in that time.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll be very nice to see him back.
More true facts.
More true facts, yes. Britton to the Yankees, huge deal. They had to give up. I think the biggest prospect was Tate, right? Dylan Tate?
Yes, Tate. I would say Tate and Josh Roger. Although, I don't know, the Cody Carroll, who's the reliever in AAA, I think is their number.
Relievers are super important now. It's like they're almost as important as a starter.
I think he's actually their number 9 prospect, but from what I've never seen the guy pitch even to a single batter, but from what I understand, he's actually very good.
Okay.
But let's be honest, if you look at the Yankee bullpen, where was this guy ever going to get an opportunity in the near future? It just wasn't going to happen.
Not in this team. And then now they signed Zach Britton.
It's just like the deepest bullpen. It's got to be the deepest bullpen I've ever seen. And it's clear what the Yankees are trying to do because they are clearly trying to shorten games. Because they may have no other choice. Because if you look at the starting pitching market, it's just not there. There's not a Justin Verlander to be had this year.
I still am very much a part of the fact.
Well, yeah, I think you probably like Cole Hamels,
I
right?
would love to have Cole Hamels. I would like to have J.A. Happ. Either one of those guys.
I'll pass on him, but I'll still take Hamels because of Hamels' pedigree and his history in the postseason.
The problem is with Hamels now is because they got Britton, it's going to be more difficult to fit him into luxury tax situation. Because Britton is, I think, left $4 million this year, $4.5 million.
$4, and I think if you got Hamels, it'd probably be a 10-ish.
So I mean that might
or 9.
That's right around there.
It's close.
It's close. It's going to be really, really close. That's going to be super tight, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. I mean, I don't know what J.A. Happ's making, but he's probably not making Hamels money.
It's not Hamels money, no.
Both of them are lefties. Both of them pitch well. I mean, J.A. Happ for some reason has gone from a 7K per 9 guy to like a 10K per 9 guy. I mean, his ERA is he's just over 4. And he's also I think his whip is actually pretty good this year.
I think the truth is, I guess I would have to take either of them because no matter what, either of them is a significant upgrade over Domingo Germán. There's just no.
I mean, when you're talking the 4th or 5th starter, I mean.
Because right now you're basically replacing your 5th starter because Germán is just not a viable 5th starter. I look at Domingo Germán and I look at his stuff and I think that's a reliever. Not on this team, no. But that's not an indictment on him. That just goes to show you how deep this bullpen is.
Right.
But to me, I think he's a long man in the bullpen. I think he can give you 3 or 4 innings and really just empty the tank.
Yeah.
Kind of guy. But probably not on this
man. That's what she said. The one thing he's got going for him, I guess, at this point.
Can't take you anywhere.
Anyway,
in my basement.
So I mean, this is a big deal. I think that it's really going to shorten games. As of right now, it seems like that was like the one move that I'm actually surprised that they got it done with the Orioles because they're in the same division.
Yeah,
I'm surprised. I mean, I do think that they had to give up a little more.
They were close on Machado, though, too, so maybe it's not so surprising. I mean, the Orioles really need to unload guys, and look, I kind of admire the Orioles for doing that, Duquette, because it's not an easy thing to trade within your division. But look, if the Yankees are the team, and let's be honest, because the Yankees are a top 3 farm system, if the Yankees can give you the guys that you want, the right kind of mix of guys, why wouldn't you do it? You have to swallow your pride. And you have to take whatever package is best for your team. Let's be honest. Look at what they're getting. I mean, Tate, Rogers, and Carroll. I mean, these are all guys who are either relievers or potential starting pitchers. You never know what you might get out of these guys. This could be a really good deal for the Orioles, especially when you consider that for the Yankees, this is almost certainly strictly a rental. He's an unrestricted free agent going into next year. You know he's going to want to be a closer somewhere else. That opportunity will not present itself on this team as long as Aroldis Chapman is around. So for the Orioles, you're basically getting these 3 guys in return for what is almost certainly a rental because Britton's going to go elsewhere. Right. He's going to end up on another team.
Yeah. So Palermo, Jay Palermo, Melee. He just posted another one, and this actually will make a good. This is. It's kind of what you had talked to me about last night when you had told me that they got Britton because I wasn't paying attention to social media or anything like that, and you had said Yanks got Britton, done deal. And I was like, holy crap, really? I was like, I didn't realize that happened that quick. I knew that they were close.
Yeah.
And Jay Polero just wrote it, Sox need a reliever to get to the ninth. Yanks made a good chess move. And
yes,
I think that's exactly what you had
that's
posted
the other
last
side
night. It was basically the whole reason why they did this is not only to help, Chris Corelli said he really wanted another bullpen piece, from SNY.
You got it. You got the best one available.
And we got the best one available. And on top of that, it keeps it away from the Red Sox, who do need, if there is one little, blemish in the armor of the Red Sox, it is their bullpen. And
I would say the Sox and Houston probably both could use another arm. And the Yankees have absolutely now shortened games to the point where, this isn't like 1996 where the Yankees shortened games and they went, they had Stanton, Nelson, and Rivera and Wetland. This is like, you could shorten a game to where like you could bring Chad Green in like the third inning.
Yeah.
That's how much you've short. Like if God forbid Sonny Gray had to pitch a playoff game, you could pull him at the first sign of trouble, like in the second inning. Yeah. Like, okay, here comes the parade of relievers.
Yeah.
You could bring in Holder, Warren, Green, the whole line, Robertson, Betances, Britton, Chapman. It just goes on and on. It's nuts.
I really feel like they need another starter. Having that other starter, and because of the issues, like until we have
Luis Sessa is taking the mound today in less than 2 hours. Okay. Yes, they need another starter.
I hate you for just even mentioning his name.
Sorry.
He is not allowed to be mentioned on this podcast.
Those whom we do not speak of?
Yes, exactly.
He really should. He really should be. He's not well liked.
No, especially on this Facebook page. He is. Damian might like him.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure Damian likes him and Domingo Germán. Yes, please keep those guys in your rotation by all means.
Oh my lord. So anyway, I really feel like we need another starter. Getting a Hamels or a Happ as that fifth guy, but not necessarily fifth guy. It'd be kind of a more reliable option for the playoffs because
that's a playoff acquisition.
They need
that. You get Hamels,
they need that third guy because CeCe's been very. I can't say a bad thing about CeCe. He has been everything we have wanted and more.
Every penny of both contracts that he's gotten.
Exactly. He is a phenomenal. He's going to be one of the greatest Yankee pitchers ever by the time he's done. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame as a Yankee. It's just that's how long he's pitched for us. He's going to get to 3,000 strikeouts next year, the beginning of next year. And who knows? The Yankees might sign him back again as the fifth starter for next year.
He's already vocalized that he wants to come back again.
Yeah,
I would assume that the only team he'd maybe come back for. Well, he would probably go back to Cleveland if they offered him.
Maybe,
but I don't see any scenario under which the Yankees, who are still going to need pitching help next year, wouldn't take another flyer on him for $10 million a year.
I could see him playing in like LA though. He lives
in LA.
Yes,
that's right. He does live in LA.
So there's like a few spots that I could see, and particularly if he was on the Dodgers. I think
let's put it this way: there will be a market for him, but I suspect that his first option would be to stay in New York, and I would think that as long as the Yankees are willing to offer. Assuming he wins, 12 to 15 games this year, whatever that plays out as. I think he's at 6 or 7 right now. Yeah. But assuming he gets to like the 12 win area, I would imagine that the Yankees would offer him another 1 year, $10 million deal. He's on the Andy Pettitte track right now.
3,000 Ks right around the corner.
I'm sure they'd like to have that.
Guaranteed to get there next year. Guaranteed.
Yes.
Barring injury, of course. All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic, and that is the NFL.
Oh, baby, and guess what? Today is the start of training camp.
Yes, it is. Yes. And we'll see how many people are going to be.
We are in countdown mode now. Fantasy football chatter has started. Guys are showing up to camp fat and out of shape. Ryan Tannehill has actually created his own hype video, which was just dreadful.
Chad C. Dizzle Davis just posted, "Are you guys live now?" Yes. Just so you know, we are live. Yes. We're going
live. We'll do it live. I love that. I really wish we could play that. There's an expletive. Can we bleep it out?
Oh, we got a question. A friend. Actually, he's my brother's best friend and a friend of mine. He actually worked for me when I owned the club.
Any friend of the judge.
Yes.
Is a friend.
Yes. This is Keith. Keith says, "Where is Dez going to? Where is he going to go?"
That's a great question.
It really is.
it's obvious he wants to play in the NFC East because he wants to stick it to the Cowboys. It kind of surprises me a little bit that maybe some of those NFC East teams haven't taken a flyer on him.
Yeah.
Just because you could look around the NFC East and I could actually see need for maybe any of those teams.
Yeah, I could
for
see
a veteran wide receiver.
Except for the fact that he causes headaches. I mean, he's an absolute maniac behind the scenes.
The one thing though, I'm not going to say which team should because I'd have to really take a closer look at their rosters. But I would take a flyer on him if I was an NFC East team because look,
there's 3 teams that I would try.
It's probably relatively low risk because look, you could purge him from your roster. If he causes a ruckus of any kind, he's gone.
Yeah.
But the thing that I would really love is that he would be. I mean, you can't a veteran with his skill set and talent level, with the chip on his shoulder that he's got to have right now. I'd want to take a chance on that.
Yeah.
I would. I would love for the Dolphins to take a flyer on him in a heartbeat. But there's nothing there for him. There's nothing for him there.
I would love to see him on the Bills just because we need a threat, some sort of threat. But I don't see it happening.
He's still a big-bodied, physical guy. I mean, he can. He's going to come down with balls. It's just a question of. But look, I think the problem is. He did get a contract offer from the Ravens, but he's made it clear he wants to play in the NFC. He wants to stick it to the Cowboys. Yeah. So if you're an NFC East team, I'm a little bit shocked because I think you could probably get him and probably get him on the cheap. I mean, if some NFC East team makes him an offer that's even remotely acceptable, he'll take it.
Yeah, for me, if I was the Giants, I would possibly take a chance, but between the headaches of him and Odell, I don't think you could fit him into that clubhouse. The one thing that there's a couple of teams that come to mind for me. I think that he would be a good fit on the Rams because I think that the Rams could use a good threat like that, just as an additional threat because he's not the receiver that he used to be, but he can still go up and get the ball.
I can see that.
Another team that I would think that he would be a good fit for is unfortunately would be the Patriots because I think if there's anybody that can keep him in line, he's obviously done it with Randy Moss. It would be the Patriots. I think that would be a good fit for him. And the last team that I would probably consider him for would be the Green Bay Packers. Just because if there's anybody that can revive his career, there's 2 quarterbacks that could revive his career. Well, 3 really that could really revive his career.
Not to mention the fact that it's still a head scratcher to me that Jordy Nelson is not on that team.
That's ridiculous. It's
just still so weird to me.
I don't understand. I mean, they are a very improved team in this offseason, but still. He can still catch. He can still run. I don't know how he's not on that team.
I could see that working too. There's something about Aaron Rodgers. I just feel like anybody who would go and play with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers has got that 0 F's given kind of attitude that I just think that if it didn't work, Rodgers would easily be able to go to McCarthy and go to ownership and say, all right, we got to get rid of this guy. It's just not working. But he'd do it in such a cool way that it'd be like, hey, we tried, but this isn't working.
So Keith posted again, and he said he's going back to Dallas, still an option, last-minute decision, 1 year, low money. I think that burn has been bridged. That bridge has been burned.
I think so too. That's tough.
I don't see that happening. I mean, if it does, that's just because Jerry Jones,
right?
Really worked some magic, and they'll probably have to overpay for him now. I would have to guess, just because I'm not overpaid by like a $10 million deal. I think they're not going to be able to get away with the minimum.
No, I think he's hurt. I think he was hurt by them, and I think his goal. I think his last goal here, other than maybe trying to win a Super Bowl, it would be to stick it to the Cowboys. I think that's his goal right now.
Yeah. That's why I agree. All right. So Todd Gurley, 4-year extension, $60 million, $45 guaranteed. This just happened, over the last 24
yesterday.
Hours. Yep. And this is absolutely warranted. I mean, the dude is an absolute beast. He is one of, if not the best running back in the game right now. Deserved every single dollar that he's getting, if not more. And I think it's good that he signed the deal that he did because they still have, was it Darnold? Is that Aaron?
Aaron Donald?
Yeah, Aaron Donald. Yeah.
Yes.
They have to sign him.
Yes.
And he's a big deal. So they need to have some money left over for him. They said, I guess their GM said, yeah, don't worry about it. We're going to get this thing done. Like we will sign you. And that's something that they need. Their offense is obviously incredible. They were my dark horse last year, and this year they are one of my favorites to come to win. So I actually we should do our NFL projections maybe next week.
Probably next week. I mean, we're getting
maybe Monday before the games start. So maybe Monday or Wednesday next week we'll do it. We'll have to do our projections. We won't go totally in depth like we did last year because we were doing a 2-hour show last year. But I think we could definitely get those in. Give our favorites of each division and then kind of just quickly where they're going to finish. In the rest of the division. So all right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, 75%.
By the way, Todd Gurley was only the second happiest player in the NFL yesterday after that signing because the happiest has got to be Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I would say yes or no. I mean, I would be kind of ticked off.
Here's the thing. I'm sure he's probably mad at the Steelers, but at the same time, the market has now been set for him and then some because you can't pay Todd Gurley $60 million with $45 million guaranteed and not expect Le'Veon Bell to get more. Le'Veon Bell got 400 touches last year. He's an absolute – and I love Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley is an amazing player. He deserves every penny of that. And I love to see when NFL players get paid because their window is very short. They play a very physically violent game. They're always one snap away from being paralyzed. Yeah. So if you're an NFL player, I never begrudge you getting what you think you're worth. And in the case of Todd Gurley, good for him. He's set for life. He's got $45 million guaranteed. If he gets injured, it doesn't matter. Yeah. He's got $45 million in the bank. Le'Veon Bell is going to get more than that because he has to get more than that because he is a superior player to Todd Gurley.
But he's getting old. He's old in running back years.
I mean, you know what, though? Have you seen anything? Have you even seen remotely anything that shows you that guy's close to slowing down? I mean, he is a stud. He's an absolute animal. And I know the Steelers are one of those teams, they set specific values on guys, and they stick with it, and that's it.
I don't see the Steelers doing it next year.
They say this player has X value, and that's it. But no, I think that's a burned bridge at this point. I think he plays it out for the Steelers this year. I think he puts up another monster year, and I think he moves on. But whoever he goes to is going to have to pay him. They better have some money freed up, for free agency because that guy is going to get every bit that Todd Gurley got. There's no question he's going to get that money. Mm-hmm. And he's going to touch the ball again 350 to 400 times this year. He was smiling ear to ear yesterday, and he even did it in a tweet.
Well, I mean, he is a very talented. I mean, him, Ezekiel Elliott, Johnson, and Gurley are like the best running backs in the league.
Yeah,
we'll see what Saquon Barkley can be, but as of right now,
he's going to be up there.
We got another post here from Melee. He said 75% guaranteed money for a running back. Are we headed to guaranteed contracts in the next CBA? Not a chance. I don't think it'll ever happen. Those NFL players, their union is just incredibly weak. And I think that basically what they're doing is instead of doing fully guaranteed contracts, they're just basically doing it to the point of where, you have a guaranteed contract, $45 million guaranteed. If you're playing at that level and you make it to the next year, we'll keep you on for another chunk of change, another 15 mil. But we're not going to sign you for. I mean, that's what they're doing. Those are their guaranteed contracts and the guaranteed money is getting bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah. See, what I think you might see now, the trend you might see as opposed to seeing a fully guaranteed contract is you may see like what you saw with Gurley, although again he's a running back, so it's a little bit different. But you may see these shorter term contracts with more guaranteed money because I'm sure the Rams would love to pay all $60 million of that because if they do, that means he played so well in those first 3 years that last $15 million was warranted and then some.
Yeah.
So that it almost makes that fourth year a bargain.
Yeah.
Which
it makes it a bargain.
Very well happen with Todd Gurley because he's
not. The thing is he's not just a smash round running back. He's a triple threat. I mean, he is good at everything. He is what you want in a running back. All right, so I don't think I don't think that I'll ever get fully guaranteed contracts. I just think their union's too weak, and I think that they don't necessarily need the fully guaranteed contract. They're just going to have to request more money guaranteed in those contracts.
I think the only way that happens, but it could have so many long-term ramifications, is if the players held out, like if they strike, if they went on strike,
they won't.
But they won't, because there is other damage to be done there if you do something like that. Look what happened in Major League Baseball in '94. Okay,
Took a while for them to get some fans back, and they still have lost some.
It took a big toll on the fans. Some of those fans never came back.
Yep.
So
that is true. I don't ever see it happening. I can't. Now it's a different question if you say, should it happen? I do think it should happen, but
I guess if you look at the other leagues, which have guaranteed contracts, we just saw Kevin Love get paid $120 million yesterday,
which is what we're going to be talking about next. So
good, because he ain't worth that.
We
need to talk about that.
Well, let's move on. Let's change topics. So
Todd Gurley should be getting paid $120 million.
Yes,
with all of it guaranteed. Not Kevin Love.
And that's the other issue with the NFL, is that the injuries just are so much. The career-ending injury can happen on any given play. That's why the money is less. But you
don't even have to be involved in the play to have a career-ending injury.
Yep. Yeah.
We've seen that happen. Maybe not career-ending, but certainly season-ending injuries. It's like that, and it's over.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to one of our favorite theme songs. The NBA got another huge deal. Sometimes it's a head-scratcher. It really is. I don't understand some of these guys. So Kevin Love signs a huge deal, 4 years for $120 million. And I saw this, I was like...
Just because you have the money, doesn't mean you have to spend it.
You can really spend that money other places much more wisely. Kevin Love is a good player. He's not a $30 million a year player. $30 million for Kevin Love, who has been getting injured a lot over the last couple years. He's slow. He is so slow. He walks around there like his feet are killing them. When he's running down the court, it looks like it hurts. I don't understand.
It hurts me to watch him.
I don't know where the love is coming for Kevin Love. I understand with Gilbert. Is it Gilbert? Yeah, it's Dan Gilbert, right?
Yes. Dan.
Is it?
Is it? No, yes, it is Dan Gilbert. I'm sorry. I was getting mixed up with Dan Snyder. It is Dan Gilbert.
So Gilbert I understand why he's doing this, because he needs to have something.
I guess.
He needs to have some. And Kevin Love is still a 2010 guy. He's an 18-8 with LeBron. Without LeBron, I'm going to assume he's going to be a 22 and 10, 12 guy, because they're not going to be giving the ball to LeBron as much. Now, I can't see, unfortunately for the Cavs, I cannot see him getting traded ever, because that money is way too big. It's way too big. And I don't know how you're going to attract. I guess you can attract people because they'll be like, oh, they're going to overpay for me like crazy. They gave him $30 million. Yeah, I averaged like 26 points a game. They're going to give me like $45 million. They're going to give me a max deal. We got to move to Ohio, and we should do our podcast there. He'd probably throw us some money.
Somebody will overpay us to do this.
To move out to Ohio, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. $30 million a year, I could do that. I could definitely do that.
I could do it for that.
Yes.
Because then I could afford to have a home here still.
Yeah, it'd be like in the cartoons. My headphones would fly off my head. They'd be spinning and I'd be gone. And I'd be set up in Ohio by the time we did our next podcast.
You'd be like the witch in Looney Tunes, where like you take off and there's nothing but like paper clips behind you, like flying in the air. I love her. That witch gets a bad rap, though.
Oh, jeez. So anyway, we both think this is ridiculous, but I guess I can see kind of why he's doing it. It's just absolutely absurd.
I can see why. I can see why Love's doing it. He probably couldn't wait to sign that contract. He was probably like, "Oh my God, is it time to sign the contract yet? I got to get over there. I got to get
quick! Find a notary. Where's the notary?
I got to get over there before they realize this was a massive mistake."
Oh, man.
Hey, good for him. He got paid.
He did. He got paid.
He got paid. And he looked happy signing that deal because he was like, oh, my God, I just hoodwinked this ridiculously stupid owner into paying me $30 million a year.
He is going to have bionic legs. He can afford them now. So hopefully he'll be able to move up and down the court a little bit better next year.
You know what we got to do? I wish I should have thought about this. We need to make a list of all of the guys that he gets paid more, that he gets paid more than in the NBA, and just see how embarrassing that is. Because there's going to be some names on that list. You're going to be like, how is Kevin Love making more than that guy? I mean, it's got to be it's got to be a long list.
Yeah, it's got to be a really long list.
It's going to be a mile long list.
$30 million. Whew. I mean,
a large.
He's not making much less than LeBron.
That's what I'm saying. Like, actually, I was thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, what's LeBron make? I mean, I think he makes more.
I think he had 4 on 165. So
I mean, see, and that's actually below market value.
Oh, for him, yeah.
When you consider what I remember there was one year where I think Jordan got paid in like the 30 million range, and I remember, and I remember thinking to myself, God, he's actually underpaid. Yeah. Even at that time,
he was underpaid for most of his career, and then until the very end when he started commanding like $30 million a year.
But even at that, that was still undervalued.
Well, because he brought them a championship every year.
Right. I mean, it was like, are you willing to pay $30 million for a guaranteed title? Yes. I am.
Yeah.
I am. Do you know how much money I can make revenue in just ugly championship T-shirts that, Chicago residents will wear for the next 4 years? Yeah, I'll take it. I'll pay that $30 million.
All right. So we are both, I think everybody is probably scratching their head about that decision, but they need a star. He's going to be their star.
Well, he's going to be their star. He's not a star. He's their star. It's kind of like for a while when the Yankees didn't have a true ace. They had their ace, but they didn't have an actual ace. Now it's actually a different story. They do have an actual ace. His name is Luis Severino. But for a while, like, the Yankees didn't have an actual ace. They just had their ace, and that was Masahiro Tanaka for a while. And then Severino, obviously took the next step. But yeah, so that's what Kevin Love is. He's the Cleveland Cavaliers ace, but he's not a real ace.
All right. So let's move on. We're going to switch topics real quick to talk about something that happened with the WWE.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
I had to get this out for you.
We're close to hearing this again.
Really?
Well, he's back. They reinstated him into the Hall of Fame. He spoke in front of the locker room and, offered an apology, although a lot of the things that you're hearing about the apology was that it wasn't very genuine and he didn't seem very contrite about what he said. It was more about, like, be careful, like, watch out, be careful what you say, and, like, make sure you're not being videotaped while you're like having sex with your best friend's wife. So it was sort of a weird apology. But at any rate, he's certainly back in the...
Do you think he started off that whole thing and he was like, he gets in front of everybody and he's like,
well, let me tell you something, brother.
Don't go having sex with your best friend's wife.
Right, because he could be taping you. And, and then on top of that, be careful what you say. About your daughter dating certain people. But so anyway, though, he did make a speech in front of the locker room, and I guess he attempted to apologize. It doesn't sound like it went so well from the perspective of a lot of the African American guys who were in the locker room, like Titus O'Neil and the New Day. I think they struggled a little bit with his apology. Yeah. They didn't think it was very sincere, But I mean, there are some guys though who think that he's at least willing to make the effort to try and do the right thing. We'll see, but at some point, it's likely that we'll see him on WWE TV again. But I still think he's got a little bit more work to do in the locker room before they're going to trot him out there. Okay.
The big news that happened was the WWE announced that they are going to have an all women's pay-per-view event
in October.
And that is pretty huge.
Big news.
And I think it was basically because of what happened at the last pay-per-view, that, the women's, all the matches were great. And, there was a lot of feedback saying like that was the best part of the show. Like the women just kind of dominated the whole pay-per-view. And that goes to show when you put up ratings and you put up numbers on Twitter and Facebook and people hashtagging it like crazy, you'll get something for it. And they did. They got their own pay-per-view. I think. Do you think that that's going to lead to something like every other pay-per-view will be kind of everybody, or will it be a couple times a year? Or?
No, and I don't know that I would do that too, because I think it might actually water it down. Like I think that would actually almost take away from what makes this event special, because the men currently do not have an all men's. They did for years, but
they did. It was called the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Right, exactly. And now but now every pay-per-view features women's matches.
Right.
So what makes this unique is that you have one pay-per-view that is specifically for the women. No men will show up on it, other than maybe you might see them in the backstage a little bit. But I doubt you'll even see very much of that. I think it'll almost entirely feature the women. And I think I wouldn't add any more of those, because then I think it sort of would take away from the impact of this one.
Right.
Like this is that one special event every year that is strictly dedicated to the women. But they're still on every other pay-per-view anyway. I actually was a little surprised by that, pleasantly surprised by that announcement, because what I thought the announcement was going to be was that the women, whatever the main event was going to be for WrestleMania 35, and this may still be the case, by the way, I thought the women were going to main event WrestleMania 35 in New York, which I'll be at.
Ooh.
And
that's right. A bunch of guys are going, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah,
that's cool.
We're gonna go. But yeah, that's actually what I thought it was gonna be. So when I heard this, I was like, oh wow, that's actually really cool. That should be great. And listen. I mean, I watch every week still. I watch SmackDown. I watch Raw. The women's product right now is honestly it's probably better than the men. I mean, a lot of the men's matches are just some I just fast forward through when I'm DVRing, because I just like I can't watch Mojo Rawley versus Tyler Breeze. I just can't do it. So I'm fast forwarding through that match. I don't think I've ever fast forwarded through a women's match. The female athletes on that roster are amazing. They are really, really good at what they do. In fact, you know what's really kind of most embarrassing? If you look at the WWE product as a whole, the women's division and NXT, which is sort of like the WWE's minor leagues, are easily like the two best products. And then like the men's is kind of like, some are good, some are not. But for the most part, like I find that a lot of the storylines and the matches are not as memorable as they should be. And some of these storylines and these rivalries that they try and create just like fall flat on their faces.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, consistently, I find that the women and NXT are always really good. And I think they deserve this. I think this has been a long time coming. The WWE has been building towards this. It didn't hurt that Ronda Rousey came on board. I think that really pushed the women's division for WWE much more into the mainstream than it had already been. She's a big star. She was a big star outside of.
It's like we pushed them over the top.
She was just diving with Mako Sharks.
Yeah.
For Shark Week. I mean, she's a big star. She's
Shark
a
Week.
big deal. Yes. # Shark Week. Which, by the way, Shark Week's been really good so far. Yes.
I gave up on it after last year.
Understandable. It's been a marked improvement.
Why?
Yeah.
What have they done differently?
Well, I do like what they've done with some of the celebrities. The Shaquille O'Neal thing is hilarious. You have to watch him. You have to watch him in a cage with sharks. It's just hilarious. Ronda Rousey was good. That was good with the Mako Sharks. I even just like some of the regular programs that they've done. They just did an Air Jaws one that I watched, I think, last night. And it was like all the because now they're having all these issues like in Africa, South Africa, I guess, or New Zealand or wherever it is, where a lot of the great white activity is. Like the sharks are not breaching anymore. Like the whole Air Jaws thing. Like it's just not happening.
Yeah.
And the story was that there were basically like these two orca killer whales who were attacking and killing great white sharks that were washing up on the shore. And they called them like they were like brothers, like these bully. They called them Port and Starboard. That's what like the locals nicknamed them, Port and Starboard. And they have all these footage of like these two sharks like swimming side by side in the ocean, and they are just killing all the great whites and like driving the great whites out of that area. And it's a crazy story.
Wow.
It was nuts, like, and all like, but for whatever reason, I don't know. I guess a great white shark's liver must be very like high in nutrients or very tasty or something, because these orcas are attacking these great white sharks and ripping out their livers, and then like the bodies are like washing up on shore. It's nuts. It was like a really interesting Shark Week program.
You're gonna see sharks like in the bathtub with no liver, waking up with no kidney.
Right, exactly. Right.
On ice.
Tails flapping around. I can't move. It's been a really good Shark Week.
It's on the Orca dark web. Okay. So
it's been a good Shark Week. Tune in. I mean, I don't know if you've DVR'd any of them, but
that's good. All right.
Tune in. It's been good.
Our show's pretty much over right now, but the one thing I want to talk about before we leave, so I got this thing about buddy cops, buddy cop films I did it on Facebook a couple weeks ago, and I posted basically like, what's the best buddy cop of these four movies? Out of these four, which one's the best? And people just couldn't help themselves, and they had to put all these other different movies in there. So I was like, whatever.
I know.
So it made me think, like, all right, so what are some of the best buddy cop films? Like, for me, there are a couple that
well, for you, it's got to be Bad Boys, right?
Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys, yeah.
Bad Boys 2. I love Bad Boys 2, but I will say it's a little long. So if I had to pick like a couple of my favorites, one would be Bad Boys 2. I'd have to go with The Other Guys. The Other Guys, I probably quote the most. Great. And it has Derek Jeter in it, so...
And The Rock.
And oh, yes, of course, Rock and Samuel Jackson.
And Samuel Jackson. Yeah. I mean, they actually, I think, were the better part of that movie.
No, Michael Keaton was the best part of that movie.
Yes, Michael Keaton, yes.
And,
constantly
and I'm a peacock. I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly. Peacocks don't fly, man.
Look, guys, just don't go chasing waterfalls.
Desk pop? You want to do desk pop? Are you quoting TLC? Who? What is that? What is that?
No. Yeah, no, it is. It's a good movie. I don't know. I mean, look, this was tough for me. Yeah. Actually, I've always been a pretty big Lethal Weapon guy.
Oh, they're awesome.
The first one was actually not my favorite, though. The second one was.
The first one was a darker movie.
Yes. Oh, very much so. Yeah.
And then it got lighter and lighter as the time went on.
It got lighter. Yeah. Once they started bringing Joe Pesci in, they kind of like jumped the shark a little bit. Yes. Right. Butters. What was it? It's Butters, right?
Yeah, Butters.
Butters.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. You know what? Rush Hour. Those are good. Those are good buddy cop movies.
The Rush Hour ones are very good.
They're good.
Yeah, they are very good.
I love the way Tucker and Jackie Chan play off each other. But you know what, though? I mean, for my money, though, I mean, nothing gets better than Riggs and Murtaugh. I mean, Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. There was some really great dialogue between those guys. I used to love. Actually, the scenes that I really enjoyed the most. In those movies were when they were not so much when they were out and you know in the thick of it, but I loved like just watching them interact with all the other cops when they were just in the police office, like when they were at the station. Just some of the interactions there, I always thought that stuff was great. Like the dialogue there seemed really good, like really organic and natural.
The chemistry between those two are great.
Yeah, it's tough. So for me, I would have to answer your question directly of the choices, I would have gone with Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. You know what movie? You and I kind of do this from time to time on the show. Do it. Starsky and Hutch.
Starsky and Hutch, yeah.
Great. That's a good one, too. I think that's a very underrated buddy cop film. I love that movie.
How about Turner and Hooch?
Turner and Hooch is great. 21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street. 22 Jump Street was but 21 Jump Street, yes.
22 Jump Street had the funniest moment when he had found out that Jonah Hill's character had slept with Ice Cube's daughter.
Yes.
And Channing Tatum.
I thought you were talking about like the female roommate there too.
Oh, she was
like her.
Yeah.
She was great.
Yeah, but then
she actually turns out to be the bad guy too.
Tatum's reaction when they were sitting in there and he finally puts it all together that they slept together.
Oh, it was great.
That was like the funniest moment. That was
it was
so good.
It was the aha moment, like the light bulb goes off for him. And he's like,
oh. And he's like, oh,
really awesome,
running around telling everybody. That was great.
Yeah,
Tango and Cash. That's a good one.
Oh my God, Tango and Cash would be in my top 3. In fact, I think I have told anyone who will listen, and I apologize for anybody who's out there who has heard me say this already. Mm-hmm. They have to make a Tango and Cash remake with John Cena and The Rock. They have to. How do you not?
Okay.
Cena is now a legitimate. He is now a legitimate, I believe, Hollywood actor.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And The Rock
I watched that. Blockers.
Star on the planet.
Blockers was funny.
You cannot. Blockers is really funny. Yeah. You cannot tell me that a Tango and Cash remake with cameos by Kurt Russell and Sly Stallone, starring Cena and The Rock, would not make bank. I'm sorry, you can't tell me it wouldn't. It absolutely would.
Yeah,
in fact, I would love it if it was Cena and The Rock as Tango and Cash, and then Stallone and Kurt Russell as like the bad guys. How great would that be?
That would be good. That would be pretty cool.
It would work.
Yeah. I totally agree. Totally.
I got so excited I just like spit on my keyboard a little. Saliva came flying out. Amazing.
And there's another one that came out recently within the last few years. The Heat.
Oh, The Heat. Great. But tremendous.
Female buddy cop.
So good.
Yeah. That was a good movie too.
So good.
They play well off each other. There's so many good buddy cops. I mean, I hope people post in the comments below like what their favorite buddy cop movie is of all time. You know, we have a bunch of comments. We really appreciate it. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Keith. I really appreciate you coming in. And Chad even posted and said, "Are you guys live now?" Thanks for saying and asking if we were, because we are.
DJ Melee.
Melee, yeah. Jay Palermo. Yeah, we really appreciate you guys actually watching and commenting. It actually took us onto a different path, which was great. But yeah, buddy cops. What's your favorite buddy cop film? That's what I want to know. Favorite buddy cop films of all time. I don't care. You can do a bunch. I mean, Sherlock Holmes even fits in there because he's a private eye basically, so he could even fit in there. Go ahead, do it. Hey, but Pink Panther. He has Clouseau. Clouseau has what's that guy's name? Who was the what was his name? Clouseau and
it's bad. I'm sorry.
I know. I can't remember what it is. The movie came out 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it was. So, but it was that was a good balance between the two.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Men in Black.
Men in Black is a good one. I don't know if they're cops, but yeah, I mean, they're
pretty good.
They're galaxy defenders.
Yes, exactly. You could put them in the conversation.
They were there to protect and serve, essentially. Keith
Sherry put 7. Morgan Freeman. 7 is my favorite crime thriller of all time.
Yeah, it's probably mine too. If there is a way to technically categorize it as a buddy cop movie, it would be hard to argue against that.
Yeah.
I don't know that you could, but an absolutely amazing movie.
I mean, Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman were amazing.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? You know what's in the box.
Yeah, your wife's head's in the box.
Gwyneth Paltrow's connected ears are in the box. Do you know that her ears connect to her? There's no actual lobe.
Oh, she's one of those?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's weird. I feel like I would get surgery for that. Could you just make the slit so that there's a separation? I would.
She's doing all right for herself with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to the show. You can find us facebook.com/Shane and the Bri Man, where we do our live shows. You can hit us up on Twitter @Shane and Bri Man. You can find me on Twitter @EinhornIsFinkel. Where can I find you?
Twitter. at @the_Bri_man.
Oh my lord, that was really enthusiastic. I think Brian has hit his peak. The caffeine high is on its way down.
I haven't had my coffee, so.
Oh, you drink decaf anyway.
I do. You're right. It almost it's more psychological than anything else.
So yeah, email us shaneandthebryman@gmail.com. You have anything you want to talk about? Go ahead, hit us up any of those, all those places, any of those places, and we will get you on the show next time. And thanks for sounding off in the comments. We will always take our comments as long as they're good. And we had a lot of good ones today.
What are you talking about? We'll take them even if they're bad. We don't get enough. We don't get enough to be that choosy.
Ronnie Pirro, great show, guys. Going with him. Guess where I'm going with him?
Golfing?
No. Oh, I wish I was going golfing. That'd be great. I love golfing. We're going to Mission Impossible tomorrow.
Oh, excellent.
7:00 show. I am pumped. I am so pumped up. Those are such good movies. Man, that's maybe. We can't do it next show. I guess we could. Are you going to see it this weekend?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it this weekend. I am going to see it. I have so many movies that I have to get to. I finally just got to Hotel Transylvania 3 the other day with the kids.
I haven't seen that yet, yeah. I'm going to see it with the kids eventually soon.
It was okay. They liked it better than I did. It didn't have enough laughs for me. I thought it would actually be funnier.
Yeah. Those movies are always okay for me.
I still haven't seen Incredibles 2. I still haven't seen Jurassic World.
I haven't seen that either.
I'm so behind.
The trailers didn't do much for me. But
I haven't seen. I need to go see The Equalizer too because I actually really
want to see that too. That looks good.
I'll even see Skyscraper just because.
Maybe when it comes out on demand for rent.
See, but I have Movie Pass, so it's like, why wouldn't I go see stuff?
That's true.
My biggest problem is I just don't like going to the movies alone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I do that from time to time.
I wish I could because I would get so much more out of my movie.
We got to find a theater that's in between us, and we could meet up. I have no problem doing that.
Yeah.
But the problem is the theaters. Actually, I think the one in Manchester isn't that far from me now. I'm like 10, 15 minutes closer, so we'll have to look into that.
Sure.
I love to go to the movies.
Yes.
And I love you. Whoa.
Oh, I love you too.
That just came out on air. First
sure
time. Can't take it back now.
Probably. Nope. Once it's out there, it's out there.
Just ask Josh Hader.
Ask James Gunn.
Oh.
Did you see that was low?
Yeah.
Did you see Ryan Johnson? You know the Star Wars director there deleted 20,000 old tweets.
Did he? Wow.
What was that guy hiding? 20,000.
Gotta check his
tweets.
DMs. Check his DMs.
That's a lot of tweets. Apparently, he did it in like I don't know what the time span was that he did it, but that would take
a long time.
That's a lot.
That's like a full-time job for like a month.
Do you think it was just like a massive purge? Can you I don't know I don't know if you could do that on Twitter. Can you just delete like that many at a time?
I have no idea.
It's not like when you go into email and you just click and then just delete. I don't think that's how it works on Twitter.
He must have had he probably hired like 6 people.
He had people. He had like a firm working on that.
Probably a firm. He probably was like, hey, delete all my comments from here to here.
I need everything deleted, from this time.
I want no trace. It's like straight out of a movie.
I mean, but I guess if he deleted them and nobody saw them, you can't really do anything to him. Or you can't punish him, right? I mean, you can't. If you don't know what was out there,
there's always somebody took a screen cap.
The James Gunn thing is interesting. I know we're supposed to be going off now, but it is an interesting topic. I'm so back and forth on it. Like part of me understands why Disney had to fire him because almost just from like a consistency perspective, like I get it, like I understand it. I mean, they and it's not apples to apples with Roseanne, but I understand. Like I get why they did it. Do I think he's the same as Roseanne? I don't. I actually don't think he's as much of a scumbag as she is. I understand that the jokes he made were completely tasteless and, why would you make jokes about pedophilia and rape anyway? It's just a really ridiculous topic to joke about.
He's always had like a dark sense of humor and it's...
Yeah, but I mean, but I guess the weird thing with Disney canning him though is that like they did already know about those. He was upfront about that stuff. He was still on their payroll. Mm-hmm. And then once it came out, like after all these, I guess it was like, wasn't it like white supremacists who were basically like digging this stuff up on him?
No idea.
I think that's what it was. They dug it up. It came to Disney's attention again, and Disney was like, okay, well, we can't have this kind of a PR disaster. We got to let you go.
Yeah.
And I don't, and what's interesting is if you look at the support that has come for him, there's already like a petition out there like that has over 200,000 signatures saying to hire him back.
Yeah.
Bobcat Goldthwait said he's got some sort of presence in Disney World. I don't know what it is, but he's like, I want you to take me out of Disney World. I don't want any part of it. If you're gonna get rid of him, I don't want you using my likeness or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what presence it is that Bobcat Goldthwait has at Disney World, but he basically said to Disney, remove me from your attractions.
They're making a police academy park.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a good ensemble, buddy. That's a good cop ensemble.
Yes, it is. It's not a buddy cop.
Super Troopers. That's another good buddy cop ensemble.
An ensemble. Okay. But I guess though I don't know. I'm torn with the Gunn thing. Like I understand why they did it, and in some ways I think they had to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't like it because I don't think it's quite as reprehensible as some of the other stuff that's been put out there. Yeah. That like the Josh Hader stuff and the Roseanne stuff. Like I think that's next level worse. That doesn't mean that what Gunn put out there was good, because why would you joke about those subject matters? That's still silly.
I would put this almost in the same exact line as Hader.
You think so?
Yeah, because I think they both. Well, not in the same exact line because Gunn said it as a joke, and he was
as a joke,
and
right?
Hader did it, but I'd actually give Hader a little bit more because he not only did it when he was much younger, he was a teenager. He also has come out and said, "Yeah, I did it, and I'm sorry. Like I was a 17-year-old dumbass." Like he actually came out and admitted it, and that I was 17 and I was stupid.
Yeah.
And so, whereas James Gunn, he obviously apologized and everything like that, but it's kind of like in the same line. It's like,
it's tough. I think the bottom line is no matter what, if you're going to go
directing again, it's not like he's not going to direct again. So.
Yeah, I would like to think that too.
I honestly think the franchise is going to be better off without him. I think that's probably the bigger thing that's going to come from it because he can't. The second movie is much worse than the first.
See, I love the second movie too.
I didn't like it that much.
I think they're both great.
I didn't like it as much.
First one's still my favorite Marvel movie ever. Period. And it's like not even close.
That's
whatever
impressive.
The second one is. I don't even know. It's not even close though.
I have many ahead of that.
The first Guardians to me is just an absolute.
It's because you like 70s music.
It didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt. That's for sure.
It didn't hurt. I mean, an amazing movie combined with my favorite, my favorite genre of music. Oh, here are the aliens.
Men in Black.
Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy,
let's get out of here.
Aliens. All right, gotta.
Cut it out.
What year is it?
You are listening to the Sports and Sorts podcast.